Hey everybody, Horror Hollywood here, again, the second time, in one day, with my beautiful backdrop. All green screen, baby. All green screen. I'm that good. That good. Anyways, nothing stupid. I'm actually here to talk to you about Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. This game I actually beat yesterday. I'm very heartbroken about it. Didn't really take me that long. I think the story apparently there's only 20 missions, like main story missions in the game versus Hyrule Warriors. So disappointing. Anyways, I've beaten both Hyrule Warriors and Breath of the Wild. So playing this was actually something I really wanted to do when I heard it came out. Was a little disappointed that a Breath of the Wild kind of thing was in a Hyrule Warriors sort of way, prove me wrong, man. It proved me wrong. The game is actually really fun. It actually made up for a lot of problems I had with the original Hyrule Warriors. One of them was the bosses. I hated the bosses so friggin' much, man. I hated them. Like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna oh, it's King Dodongo. What's he gonna do? Oh, he's doing a giant fireball. Maybe I should throw my bombs in his mouth and then dodge a few times, and then dodge a few more times, and it got very, very repetitive, just in the one bosses alone. And you actually fought the same bosses repeatedly, which, I mean, you do in Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity as well, but yeah, the bosses, better ways to beat them. Because in the regular Hyrule Warriors, it felt more like you're waiting for them to do the one thing so you could attack them with a specific rune or item or whatever you used in that game, and then being able to attack their weak point gauge. And well, like, yeah, you could still attack them without doing that or waiting, but it didn't really do much damage. And the only person I was actually ever able to do that with was Ganondorf, because I maxed the hell out of him. He was like, and just everything in a 20-mile radius just dies. I miss him. Just shoved a giant warthog fist down to Dongo's throat. Brings a tear to my eye. Anyways. But yeah, in Hyrule, in Age of Calamity, the boss battles are a lot more fun. I mean, of course, you got your Hinox, your Lionel, your Talos, and then you have the Guardians. I hated fighting the Guardians. All the other bosses were fun. I hated the Guardians. Because, I mean, it's just... Guardians, man. But the story, the plot is actually a lot better too. And in the regular Hyrule Warriors, it always felt like it's just like, go here, you got to capture the outpost, and then you got to kill this dude, and then probably got to kill that dude too. Then probably capture that outpost. It all really depends, man. I mean, sometimes you kill something, sometimes you don't. It goes back and forth with it, man. It really depends on what they want to do with their minds. But it got really boring, really repetitive, and sometimes it didn't really feel like a big old battle. You know what I mean? Like in Age of Calamity, it actually felt like there was something on the line. The battlefields were a little bit more dark. It actually felt like it was a war, like you're trying to save the world. And I mean, the plot is just great. The plot is really good. It was great being able to actually see Daruk and Urbosa, Mipha. Rivali sucks. Rivali really sucks. I hated him. Had birds in the last video, now I got cars in this one. Jesus. I mean, green screen effects. Anyway. But the stories, I love it. The biggest problem with Hyrule Warriors, the regular one, was it was too simplistic. It was very easy. It wasn't really anything there that made it feel epic. You know what I mean? I mean, you had Sia trying to take the Triforce pieces. I mean, like, well, there she is. And then she summons Dark Link. She wants to jump his bones. I mean, then you got frickin' Ganondorf coming out of nowhere, because Ganondorf was really the one that made Sia evil. And then you got Phantom Ganon from Wind Waker coming out of nowhere. And then it's just... It sucks. I hated it. It was boring. It was very boring. I mean, the Phantom Ganon part was kind of cool, but then it wasn't even that long, and it just kind of sucked. The story was kind of all over the place. It was kind of cool seeing all the old characters from, like, Ocarina of Time, Twilight, and all that come out. It was pretty cool. But it didn't feel like a battle. It just kind of felt like, you're just running around, just everybody, and that was it. The bosses were a little bit wider. You had a little bit better variety. I mean, you had King Dodongo, you had the Helmrock King, Phantom Ganon. Then, of course, you just had the other warriors that you would fight against, and then you had a few of the other bosses from the other games, which was kind of cool, but it felt very boring. The leveling up system is a little weird in this one, though. It's a little weird, man. It's a little weird. And because in this one, instead of like going to like a screen before all the battles and whatnot, and just having the sort of things that you need in order to level them up, instead you actually have all the things on the map. You have the little icons for each individual character on the map, which is strange, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of cool, actually, that you can do that. The weapons, however, are a little bit weird. And the regular Hyrule Warriors, everybody kind of had like a more powerful weapon they could use. Durania, he's really the only one I remember. He had the Megaton Hammer, and then you could eventually get the Igneous Hammer, which was a lot stronger. And I think it actually had a fire effect on it at all times, if I remember right. It's been a little while since I played it. But in this one, you pretty much, everybody starts out with their strongest weapon. Link in the other one, you could have Epona Link, you could have Chain and Ball Link, you could have Master Sword, you could have a few different links. But in this one, you actually can get pretty much all the weapons from Hyrule, Breath of the Wild, except for the elemental ones, which I'm a little disappointed on, because I think that'd be really cool to have in there. But in this one, you can actually choose it. They actually dumbed down a lot on what Link can wield compared to the other one where you'd have Epona, and all that. And this one, you can really only have a two-handed sword and shield or spear, which isn't bad. There's the different weapons, but they don't really have any different effects other than what you can add on to them. So it would be like more attack, better range, or less damage from enemies. That's really about it. But it's a lot more fun compared to it, because it's just, I mean, the side missions are, there's some that are really hard. There's one where I gotta fight 3 Lionels, and it's hard trying to take out one, while you got the other one trying to ram a spear in your backside, and it really sucks. But a lot of the battles are actually really intense, and it's really fun. It actually feels like you're in the middle of a war zone. You're trying to defend Hyrule and try to save the day. There's not as many characters, however, in this game. The other one, like you could have Twilight Midnight, Imp Midnight. You can have Toon Link, Kid Link. You could have Majora and a few of the other, it was Skull Kid and a few of the other ones. But in this one, really the only unlockable characters apparently is Calamity Ganon, Monk Mascotia, the Great Fairies. I hate them with a passion. But there's only a select few you can actually use. But a few of the characters in the game are really fun to play as. Link, I've just wrecked battlefields with him. Sidon is pretty fun to play as due to his powerful finishers with his strong attacks. Mipha's nice because her special can actually heal her while in the middle of a combat. Tiba's pretty cool too because he can whoa, Jesus. Dropping stuff. Because he can actually do a bunch of different arrow attacks. I just screwed up the whole video. I don't have to re-record it. Bloody hell. But a few of the characters are pretty fun to play. Some of them are just a little weird because I don't know. I'm not good with dashing. Sometimes the dashing is a bit of a pain because not the dashing, but some characters in their attacks they actually run around a lot more. Riju. I say her name, Tiba, their attack styles are more of like, flying back and forth, and it gets really annoying sometimes, especially when you're trying to like time a perfect dodge, and sometimes you just can't do it because you don't know where you're going to stop at. But a lot of characters are pretty fun to play as. You can actually play as the Divine Beasts too, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. Sometimes it is a little bit annoying just because some of their stuff is just a bit weird. The aiming controls with the Switch are a little weird too. But I gotta say, they're a lot better than Ganon's Fury. I hated that so much. Because in Ganon's Fury, I mean, you're just running around blowing stuff up and killing things, which is, fun, I guess, if you're into world destructions. But it get really annoying because then you died in two hits by some dude you didn't even see. But in this one, you have different attacks, ones that actually work, big specials, and a bunch of cool stuff that you can do with them. Udani is just the weirdest one to play as. I mean, like, I kind of like his attacks, but it gets really weird playing as him because he basically catches things and throws them back for his defensive thing. But it doesn't really work that well. My hair is gorgeous. Thank you. But yes, it gets a little annoying sometimes. Like most games do. I don't have my floof no more. It's messing with me. Oh yeah, for the game, it's actually really good. I like it. I just wish they would add a little bit more end-game content. If they had done that, maybe there's some DLC I don't know of, but I appreciate it. Anyways, bye-bye.